Alabama A&M University head coach Anthony Jones. Coach Jones, are you with us?
Good morning. Yes, I am.
How are we doing this morning?
As always, could be better, could be a lot worse, but we'll take it as it stands.
All right. Of course, the Bulldogs came up short on the weekend. A little bit of a stunning loss to Alcorn State, 21-20 for homecoming. And the Bulldogs are looking to rebound coming up in 2 weeks at the Magic City Classic as they'll take on Alabama State. Coach, your reflections on Saturday's game and getting ready for the big one in 2 weeks.
Well, this past weekend was something that me as a coach had fear of. I watched Alcorn on film, and you look at some of these teams that they played, and people don't look at that. They just look at the scores and things of that sort, and try not to give people their just due. And tried to make sure our guys were aware of this. And of course, we kind of had the perfect storm brewing for us. And then homecoming coming in, and everybody's singing your praises and things of that sort. And we came out and hadn't thrown an interception all year, and with coupled with all those things, and the simple fact that Coach Hobson had his team ready to play, and they came out here focused, ready to play, and felt like they believed in their game plan and executed it well, and was able to beat us. We made some mistakes as we all do every week, but these were real costly mistakes, and as I said before, they came in, were able to consistently stay with us. Of course, their confidence grew, and as the game wore on, we couldn't get ourselves over the hump to earn the win. So we came up short. It's an eye opener for us. And the simple eye opener is that you got to be ready to play each and every week. Can't look at records, and try to guard against that. And this conference is very competitive. It always has been, and probably always will. Simply put, because nowadays we all go after the same student athletes. They shuffle around, and some go here, some go there, and then you put that right combination together. But nonetheless, we're going to always be competitive, and on any given Saturday or Thursday, whenever we play the game, teams can be beat, and we made sure that everybody understood that Saturday. So we got to regroup, make sure we never take these opportunities lightly, never take our opponents lightly, and make sure that we're ready to play them, regardless of what the records are, and ready to go. We're banged up. We had a bunch of guys had to sit out, not because we wanted them to or felt lightly. We had to because of their injuries, and so guys sat out. But I'm sure that's the way it is all the way across the board. And again, they took advantage of it. So congratulations to Coach Hobson and Alcorn, the Braves. So next week we're off. We'll get a chance to try to get some rest and try to heal up a little bit, and then try to get ready for a very, very tough football team, that being Alabama State, and of course the Magic City Classic, and all those things come together again to make for the perfect storm, if you will. Both teams will be coming here fighting for their championship lives, and both teams are very good. Both teams have very good offenses and good defense, and coachings and all that stuff. So it's going to be a very, very competitive game. Both of us are coming off of losses, so everybody be going after that same bone, so to speak. We'll all be hungry and trying to get it. So it should be a great game.
All right, questions for Coach Anthony Jones. Questions for Coach Jones.
Hey, Coach Jones, good morning. This is Charles Edmonds from WPRL.
Hey, Charles.
Yes, Coach, talk about the most disappointing thing coming out of that game on Saturday.
Well, is that we lost. That was it. You can't cherry-coat it. We lost the football game. It was our homecoming. It was our chance to be 7-0. It was a chance to stay atop of everything. We had a lot at stake in this ball game, and for us to play at the level that we played and performed mentally, was very disappointing. But that's why we play these games. That's why you prepare for them, because these are gateways or segments through life, man. And if when you have opportunities, you got to be ready for them, and try to press that upon our guys. And they felt like they were. I really felt like we wasn't, and kept trying to guard against it. But knowing what kind of team was coming in here, a team that was very capable of beating us, and I told them that. And so the biggest disappointment was we lost.
More questions for Coach Jones?
Coach Jones, this is Brandon from Alabama A&M Sports Information. Mm-hmm. What lessons can be learned from this one-point loss to Alcorn State?
You better be ready each and every time. I don't care who they are. I don't care what the record is. I don't care where the standings are. Every team is capable of beating every team. And, we've said this over the years. And every year, about the last 4 or 5 years, every year it tends to happen. Somebody gets a loss, and everybody say, man, how did that happen? Two teams played, and the one that was ready to play the most won. And so that's kind of what happens. So happens all the time. Got to be ready.
Yeah, Coach Jones, this is Roscoe. How you doing?
I'm fine, Roscoe. How are you?
Do you anticipate any type of hangover from that game, going into the Magic City Classic? And do you feel it's necessary that you have to take any steps to ensure that there's no hangover?
I mean, yeah, you got to always take steps to ensure that your kids are focused. And sometimes you take every possible step there is to do so, and they still come out lax. So, you just got to try to get a pulse of your team, try to make sure that they understand. Our guys are really, really hurting or reeling from this loss. It brought back old feelings, and we don't like it. And so, we got a tough team coming that we got to go play down in Birmingham, and that's Alabama State. And, there's no guarantees that even if you do go out there and you're focused and play the best game you can play, that you're going to win. There's a good football team down there, and we got to get ready for it. We have to be ready to put forth our best effort. If we don't, there's no chance for us. If we do, we'll have a chance.
More questions for Coach Jones?
Coach, this is Nick Birdsong with the Birmingham News.
Hey, Nick.
Hey. I know sometimes some coaches may, want to have another game right after a tough loss so the players can get their, get that bad taste out of their mouth. Do you feel like, I know you talked about regrouping physically, just from injuries and stuff. Do you feel like the bye is coming at a good time for you guys as far as regrouping from those?
Well, you can wish for a whole bunch of things. I wish we hadn't lost, but you got to play the hand that you're dealt. And the hand that we're dealt is we got 2 weeks to think about what happened Saturday. We got 2 weeks to try to fix what happened Saturday. We got 2 weeks, we had 2 weeks to try to make sure we're ready to play the best football game we can play against Alabama State. We got 2 weeks to try to prepare as best we can, and hopefully it'll be good enough. Again, like I said, there's no guarantee whether we had a week, whether we had 2 weeks. That's the hand that we're dealt, and we got to play this hand, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to play this hand and see how this thing comes out.
Time for one more question for Coach Jones. Well, Coach, I'll go ahead and cap it off for you. Do you think that how do you feel about the bye week coming off of a loss? Does that help you, or would you prefer having the team get right back at it to try to erase last weekend?
Well, I mean, we get right back at it as far as preparing. Sunday we come in and look at the film and correct the mistakes that we made, and then we try to move on. And that's what we've done. That's what we'll always do. Again, it's this is the way our schedule was laid out from the beginning. We knew this. We knew we would have to be grinding at the end of this thing. You go 7 straight weeks straight from training camp. We go 7 straight weeks into the tough competition. And we knew we would be grinding at this time. And so we need this break. Of course, we would have loved to have been successful last week, but it's a hand that we're dealt. We're going to play it as best we can. We're not going to cry about it. We're not going to make excuses. It happens. It happened to us this time. It's time for us to go up and see if we can go up and overcome it. If we can't do, that'd be great.
All right. Thank you, Coach Jones, for joining us this morning, spending a few minutes out of your Monday morning to talk with us. And we look forward to talking to you again next week, and we can talk more about the Magic City Classic then.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That was Coach Anthony Jones from Alabama A&M University.